Stonewall and the uprising, to me, is more of a personal connection, just because it represents who I am as an individual. So to me, the uprising and Stonewall being designated as a national monument, it's significant to me as women's rights and the civil rights movement, because it helps identify the group of people who have been left out in society for so long. So it's a personal thing, inclusion, liberation. I also think it's a place where young people now can come and hear stories about other people who are just like them. So I think it's a liberating experience. Once you hear the story and you're able to be in Christopher Park, even to look at Stonewall Inn, I think it's liberating. That's what it means to me.
So a year later, they organized a march to take place to celebrate and commemorate what took place here at Stonewall Inn. And this march, they're really concerned about how it's going to go. They're not sure if they'll even be able to finish. So they start marching a few blocks from here, and they march all the way up to Central Park. And they're really concerned if they'll even be able to finish this march, because again, it is illegal to be LGBTQ and be openly practicing in the streets. Like, they're worried about holding hands, how that will be perceived, and the police are lined up. And they're not sure how people walking on the streets will react to this. And by the time they end this march, there are thousands of individuals gathered at Central Park who joined them on their march. And this is viewed as a catalyst moment for today's modern LGBTQ movement.
I think after the riots in 1969, it really sparked the revolution around the country. The following year, there was hundreds of organizations that popped up. So that really inspired everyone to start becoming activists and active in the community and active in this fight. So the riots really sparked everyone and sparked all these organizations across the country to come out and say, we're here, we're queer, get used to it.
Well, you know, when I come to watch the parade, I don't really watch what's on the parade as much as I watch the crowd. The crowd is incredible. And I could criticize that parade many, many ways, many. But the effect on the crowd is wonderful. And that was missing before 1969. If you were attacked on the street, you could actually find no help. No help. If the attack actually occurred, if it wasn't warded off by a whole group of people. And now, gays help each other. I was in San Francisco and they help each other. And that's an amazing thing. Because when you're tortured like that, they tortured us. The church and every institution and everything along the way. They taught mythology, they couldn't mention gay people. They taught ancient Greece, they couldn't mention gay people. There was a vacuum that had to be, and science hates a vacuum. And we would fill it ourselves. We'd go to the library, we'd find out. There was a whole grapevine of our own history. Everybody has a history. Nobody forgets. Not the important things, the spirit. And so I think there was only so far they could go. We had saw the black liberation, we had volunteered to help black liberation, we had volunteered to help women, and we finally realized, hey, why don't we help ourselves? And we did.
I started with the Park Service June 10th of 2016. So all of the Stonewall transferring was still very hush-hush. They kind of knew because they had already been doing this for a few years, talking about it becoming federal and part of the National Park Service. But we didn't actually know, I don't believe, until just a few days before the actual announcement. Hopefully, President Obama was going to announce it very soon. So once they announced it, you know, everyone was here. Department of Interior, the secretary was here, the director of the Park Service, our superintendent, Shirley, Jamie was lucky enough to be here. And then we were lucky enough to have a bunch of different employees be part of the 2016 Pride March. So there were a bunch of different festivities that went on, but that was the first time for Manhattan sites that the National Park Service here in Manhattan was part of the actual Pride March in New York City, and then we've been part of it every year since.
I've also been a part of 2 Pride marches, And I've been able to march in uniform, and that's an incredible experience. Marching and having all these people like cheering, and we're all out there to share our belief in equality and just really be there for one another, and that's just an amazing experience.
I think as an LGBT community, the fact that we actually have a national monument that represents us is critical to the fabric of Americana storytelling and history. And it's so important that the Stonewall Monument is there, not only to teach younger generations about the fight that went on in this very bar in 1969, but to remind us of the history of the past to make sure that we can continue that fight and create a better future.
Yeah. I said it before earlier, it's very important that you know your history, especially your gay history. Because if you don't know your history, you might not have a future. This generation and generations in the future has to know what these people in 1969 and before did. They fought back for the right to love who they want to love and to be who they want to be, or who they are.